Guys, I got bad news for you. I got a Dear John letter from Critical Role. They don't love me. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live from Ventura, California. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from Calabasas, the hometown of Critical Role. It is Thursday. It is the last day of November. The holiday rush has officially begun, which means starting tomorrow, I get to annoy you with Christmas carols. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's time for Dagger Heart Beats. Every week, we check up with the evolution of what's going on with Critical Role, both positive and negative, the evolution of what's going on with the most anticipated tabletop role-playing game of 2024, Dagger Heart, if any, what's going on with the Candel Obscura, Illuminated Worlds, Critical Role controversy. Oh my God, it's a week that there must be some controversy for Critical Role. So let's go. First off, okay, am I too harsh on Critical Role and Critical Role fan base? Absolutely. There's no question. I am extremely harsh on the Critical Role fan base. My experience with the Critical Role fan base has been 90% negative, very volatile. So I have rarely had a positive reaction with the Critical Role fan base. So somebody called me out on my, constantly saying how toxic the Critical Role fan base is. And my response is, just look at what you guys say about Marisha Ray. So I will acquiesce that I am probably alone on my island of still being very negative for Critical Role fan bases. I'm sure they do positive things. I'm sure Critical Role has had a positive effect on other people's lives. I will say that it is both the best and worst thing to happen to the hobby in the last 10 years, and the Critical Role fan base are both the best and worst thing to happen to the hobby in the past 10 years. So you can't not love them for the energy they've brought to the hobby, but you can't not also really find them very disappointing with the amount of toxicity they bring to the hobby and how much of the current negative culture in tabletop role-playing game community as a whole is because of the Critical Role fan base. So I'm sure that's why they sent me the Dear John letter. So if you remember, there is a playtest link that you can go to on the Critical Role fan page. It's right here. It's hidden. You have to go to the Critical Role Darrington Press site. You have to go to the Dagger Heart products thing. You'll see this strange-looking alligator dude with this cat that's about to get eaten. Do not tell me this alligator is not going to eat that cat. They are carnivores. And then you hit this, and it goes to a completely separate page. Well, we did this a couple of weeks ago when it first went live. You would think, considering we're practically neighbors and the amount of free press I give Darrington Press and Dagger Heart, they would say, yes, please join our playtest. We will gladly support you, OGGM, because at this point, you give us more press than the actual people working on the product. And that's true. I mean, are there other channels out there that give Dagger Heart as much free press as I do? Certainly don't see the creator coming on and talking about Dagger Heart. He's still pushing Candel Obscura, and we'll get to that in a second. Well, I got a Dear John letter. Welcome to the Dagger Heart playtest program. Hi, thanks again for signing up for the Dagger Heart playtest. If you're receiving this email, you're all signed up and no further action is needed right now. Don't call us, we'll call you. We are currently putting together the pilot round of testing and getting ready to send out game materials. Not everyone who's signed up will be part of the next wave. If you don't receive an invite in the next few weeks, don't worry. We will be expanding our testing size soon. If you have additional questions, please see the FAQs here or reach out to playtesting/beingcreative.com. Best, the Dagger Heart team. So basically they're saying, hey, first round's coming on and we're not picking you, but it's not you, it's us. This is basically a Dear John letter. It's basically saying, yeah, sorry, of the hundreds of thousands of people that signed up for the playtest, we're probably not going to pick you first. You should pick me first. So yeah, we got it. We got a Dear John letter. Okay, so anyways, time to check the numbers. What are the Critical Role numbers this week? Have they gone up or have they gone down? Well, the last time anything posted on Critical Role Twitch was 2 days ago. Before that, it was 13 days ago. So I guess they're focusing more on YouTube now. We had the Choose Your Adventure Red Nose Day thing that got 52.6 views. Wow, disappointing. I guess Twitch is not the future for Critical Role. Maybe it is YouTube. Maybe they need their own channel. I mean, they've already got the Amazon deal. All right, now the last time the YouTube channel was updated was 19 hours ago. 7 days ago, we had the how to build the clock tower that comes with the Queens by Midnight box card game thingy. So Queens by Midnight is a card game adventure thingy that they put together. It's for sale on the site. It comes with this interesting prop clock tower, which, you know, I guess is part of the game, but not necessary. You could probably play it without the clock tower, I assume. It's a cool little prop that you could probably also use for D&D and stuff. Anyways, it's a video of this guy showing you how to build it, and it got 23K views. We got Mitts Season 2, Episode 14 with 9.9K views. Okay, I think at this point in time, just give up on Mitts. I mean, obviously, who here was I think? If they're enjoying doing Mitts, and that's something they're invested in, and, you know, they're like, I don't care, I'm just having fun doing this. Well, that's fine too. You know, on YouTube, the Choose Your Own Adventure thing, we had the Critical Role Foundation one shot with 83 views. I wonder if we have a thing about how much money they made for Red Nose Days. It doesn't say, but I assume they made a good chunk of change for Red Nose Day. It's a good charity, you know, children's hospitals. Okay, let's check what's on with Dagger Heart since last week. There is an official Dagger Heart wiki now. Yay! Well, hey, look, it's Grumbar. What's up, Grumbar? You guys still playing that game? Miss you, buddy. But I'll never go back to playing with that DM. Sorry. All right, so let's check out the wiki. So this, I guess, has replaced the page that I was previously looking at because I couldn't find it. So this is run by the Critical Role wiki. We got Dagger Heart, which has a picture of a completely different video game. We've got the introduction. What is it? We've got the history. We don't have any. We've got gameplay, D6s, D12s. We got the character creation step by step. We got the classes, foundation, ancestries, character traits, abilities, hit point, stress, and death mechanics, and eternal link. And then it's basically everything else that we've already seen. So this looks like it's replaced that previous channel, but with less art and more. It's the same thing. It's just put together better. It's a wiki now as opposed to that other channel. And this wiki is being run by CCBYSA. It has no comments. And yeah, that's about it. So it's everything that we know about Dagger Heart that we learned at Gen Con. Nothing new. All right, so if we go to the Dagger Heart page, nothing new. If we go to the latest info, nothing new. So yeah, we are all good. Excited that Shadow Barge has pulled through. Completely different video, but yes, Shadow Barge is, I don't know, you'd have to check with Kelsey's webpage to see what the status of the solid books are, but they should be available soon to people who pre-ordered them. That's a separate topic about Kelsey. Okay, so Candel Obscura has earned a little controversy this week because it's a week and it's Critical Role. Controversy number one, a lot of people are confused that there's new faces on Critical Role and Candel Obscura. As Candel Obscura goes into season 3, they're talking about the new cast of Critical Role. There's new faces in Critical Role. Okay, Critical Role is the name of the show. It's not the name of the production company. So these new faces, unless they appear on Critical Role, are not part of Critical Role. They are new faces, new actors, new people who are coming on because, well, let's face it, Liam and Sam and Travis and Laura and Marissa and Matt are getting old. Matt and Marissa are married. They probably want to start a family. Travis and Laura are married. They've got a kid. They might be thinking of starting another one. I don't know about anybody else's social life, but I assume they're all, they're getting older. They have families. They maybe want to invest more time in real life and less time in Critical Role. If Critical Role is going to continue as a YouTube show, it needs to start bringing in new blood, especially if there's going to be a campaign 4. We could see a transition of old players showing up less and less and new players showing up more and more because it's new stories. And who knows, we might even see a new DM someday. Oh my God, could you imagine the controversy if Matt Mercer ever stepped down as full-time DM and somebody else took his place? Oh my God, how fucking dare you, Mercer? I'm going to kill you. So yeah, people are upset because they're changing faces. There's some positive ones, but of course there's negative ones. There's a few fuck yous. There's a how dare yous, how Critical Role needs to be the way I think it should be. And if it changes, I'm very, very angry because the fans are very invested. Now, again, I bag on the fans, but this is true for any fan base. Look at the OGL and the OSR and the old school and the 5e and the woke versus the lefties versus the mids versus the righties versus, that controversy and how toxic that is. The gaming community is extremely toxic. The comic book community is extremely toxic. Look at the toxicity being thrown at the new Doctor Who. It's not unique to Critical Role. We're humans. Humans basically suck. And if we have a chance to be toxic and be angry about something, it's way easier to talk shit about something, especially thanks to the interweb, than it is to talk positively about something. And I'm not innocent. I talk shit about Critical Role and other things all the time. Being angry is easy. All right. So as we know, the Candel Obscura also is officially out. People actually have the solid product in the book. And not surprisingly, there is a huge section of safety tools and cultural appropriation and how to play Candel Obscura. The correct way. And we have the quotes from it. So here it is. On character creation. When crafting your character, it is crucial to avoid the harmful stereotypes often present in the historical and horror genres. For instance, if you are creating an explorer, be careful not to appropriate another culture's real-world history. So similarly, mediums should not use other cultures' attires as costumes, and doctors should not indulge in any historical practices that are rooted in racist and ableist ideologies. Although PCs may be ill-disposed, tactless, and even cruel, they should always strive to construct your protagonists with integrity. So people are upset because they think Candel Obscura is telling them how to play, and this is why I won't buy Candel Obscura. You don't get to dictate how I or my players construct our characters or how we play. So yes, this is it. People have found this in the Candel Obscura. They're upset about it. It's also worded horribly. It is just horribly worldly. Okay. So putting in a safety tools, okay, I guess that goes without saying. We can't avoid it. We don't like it, but we know it's going to be there. Okay, fine, whatever. I mean, it's always been there. You're just making it an uglier version. The safety tools have always been written into the very introduction of pretty much 99% of the games. And they read basically, this is not real. Okay. Nothing in this game has any actual effect on real life. Okay. Do not look to this game as a guide to how to do medicine or practice the dark arts or anything. Those warnings have always been there. They go all the way back to the original with Gygax saying, and then, it's a fucking game. It's not real. It shouldn't affect your real life. There's nothing in this is real. It's make believe. Okay. So the safety tool things, I mean, that goes without saying. And it goes without saying that Critical Role, Candel Obscura, Darrington Press would put in a safety tool type thing because that's their target audience. They think that they want. I think we know that actually people don't want this. And I'm not sure, anybody who actually gaming ever did. I got to say, I've never met anybody. I'm going to say that again. I've never met anybody who did this in the positive way. I've seen safety tools used as a way to punish people and torture people and make people feel shit and basically slap people in the face, which is one of the many reasons I'm against safety tools. But yeah, so I don't think we could escape the fact that for now, it is a bygone conclusion that something like this is going to be in the game. And it's not going to be written again, it's always been written in the game. It's always been, this is not real. Don't be offended or upset or angered by it. It's make-believe. It's not real. Okay, fine. But the wording is extremely bad. This is just badly worded, because it just sounds not only like, again, you're dictating people and how to play their characters and how to run the game, but you're basically also saying, unless you actually are one of these, you can't play one of these. So if you're creating Explorer, be careful not to appropriate another culture's real world history. Okay. Well, I'm going to remind the person that wrote Candel Obscura, it doesn't take place in the real world. Candel Obscura is not a Call of Cthulhu. It doesn't take place in an alternative Victorian England. It takes place on a completely separate world with completely separate cultures, completely separate people, completely separate history. It doesn't take place on Earth. It takes place on a completely different world. And the closest thing would be the world of Carnival Row. If you've ever seen Carnival Row on, is it Amazon? Yeah. You've got Victorian England, but the technology is advanced to what we call the steampunk level of tech. Then you also have the influence of other races, fairies and magic and stuff like that. So you've got the conflict of, but yes, other than it being London, it's obviously not our world. And it's very clear repeatedly that Candela Obscura does not take place on Earth. So the only cultures I could be recreating is the cultures of Candel Obscura. If I'm an explorer and I don't want to appropriate the culture of a real world history, where should I get my culture from? Do I have to actually be an explorer in order to play an explorer? So let's say I'm playing an explorer whose goal is to explore the Amazon. Well, my first culture would be where I'm from, where I grew up. And let's say, since both explorers, I grew up in, England, right? Or Spain. So my culture would be Victorian England, because I'm playing in a fantastic version of Victorian England. Or if I'm pacing it on real life, I'd be a college student from, America or Oxford or wherever, right? So that would be my culture. And my second culture would be the culture I'm trying to study. So if I'm, Jane Goodall adapts the culture of the apes she's studying, so she fits in better. Anthropologists who are studying a culture, trying to adopt the culture so they can fit in better. They learn the language, they learn the practices, they develop relationships with the people there. I go into an indigenous tribe. I try and adopt the indigenous tribe so they will accept me better and not see me as an outside, so I can truly study them, right? That's the whole point, is to learn the history, to adopt the culture, to learn the language, to appreciate the food, to appreciate the music, to appreciate the people, so the people will be more willing to accept me and teach me their culture, so I can better take that information and then take it back and share it with others and go on to them. Well, this is why this culture needs to be preserved, because it's so amazing and it has a rich, deep, long tradition, right? But I can't do that in Candel Obscura. So if I can't adopt any of the cultures or any of the history, where is my explorer from, unless I'm actually an explorer? And I'm not sure explorers actually exist anymore. I mean, I guess you could be an anthropologist. So unless you are an anthropologist or an archaeologist, you cannot play an anthropologist or an archaeologist in Candel Obscura, because you would be appropriating another culture's real world history. So I can't play a British explorer in Candel Obscura because I'm stealing the culture of Britain. I can't play a Spanish anthropologist unless I am actually from Spain, because otherwise I'm stealing that country's rich history and tradition, which of course would be impossible because Candel Obscura takes place in Victorian England. So I'd have to be over 100 years old, actually from Victorian England. Otherwise, I can't play. Same with mediums. Well, if you didn't want to have people stealing the cultures of mediums, you probably shouldn't have included them, because we don't call them mediums anymore. We call them psychics. And there's plenty of them on the TV and the internet, most of them from the South, strangely enough. Well, there's a psychic here where I live. So I can't play a psychic unless I actually am a medium. I can't adopt the culture of a medium from New Orleans, the most haunted city in America, unless I actually am a medium from New Orleans. Same with doctors. I could not indulge in any historical practices that are rooted in racist and ableist ideologies. How many historical practices of doctors? I mean, yeah, the skull, that, mostly, doctors wore poor people. Bring me in the bodies of poor people so I can cut them up. Leeches. If I drill a hole in your head, it'll let the demons out. Again, so basically, unless I actually am a doctor who was alive in Victorian England, I cannot play a doctor in your game. This is just dumb. This is just badly written. This is just stupid. This is basically saying, you have to play this game this way, and if you don't, you're a horrible person. I'm going to dictate the way you have to run your game. Where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, Coyote and Crow, Thirsty Sword Lesbians. And how well are these games doing? How well is Kyle Brink doing? How well is Mackenzie doing? Huh? There's a reason why Candel Obscura is getting so few views, Spencer. 1, nobody wants it. That's not your target audience. 2, it's dumb. 3, there are better Victorian horror games out there. And 4, you're preaching to people. And that's not what people want. You should abandon Candel Obscura. We don't want Candel Obscura. We want Illuminated Worlds. We want to see your take on a generic universal system, even though you're basically ripping off Powered by the Apocalypse. So why don't you just admit it, that Candel Obscura is nothing but a loving nod to Powered by the Apocalypse, and just go play Powered by the Apocalypse, or just go play Call of Cthulhu. Yes, exactly. Nobody is from any culture. We are all a cultural melting pot of hundreds of different things. You cannot tell people to not appropriate cultures and then show those people wearing the stuff made by another culture. Oh, you don't want to appropriate culture, Stephen, whatever your name is? Stop wearing tennis shoes, because they weren't made in America. They're made in Korea in sweatshops. That watch. Yeah, you shouldn't be wearing that watch, because, the technology for the watch comes from Tokyo, and the lithium for the watch comes from the Salton Sea. So, yeah. Oh, that jewelry's got to go. That jewelry is all based on other cultures' jewelry. I could go on. You're a melting pot. I'm a melting pot. Robbie's a melting pot. We're all hundreds of different people that have combined together to make brand new people. We are always moving forward, and that's okay, as long as we do not forget who we were in the past. So this is just another strike against Candel Obscura. So it's three strikes that Candel Obscura has it going for it. 1, how dare they bring in new people? Well, that's just stupid. Of course they're going to bring in new people. Why are you upset about that? 2, it's not people are calling it the scariest game ever, but it's not. It's not. Okay, it's not a horror game. And 3, people are upset about this. And you know who's upset about it? Is the people who you think is your target audience. And this is the same problem that Wizards and every other company that's trying to walk this very thin, dangerous line of being what they think is culturally appropriate right now in the very toxic atmosphere that is Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role-playing games. You are gearing your product for an audience that doesn't exist. Putting this in Candel Obscura to try and make people feel safe about playing Candel Obscura is doing the exact opposite. It's making people in your target audience go, I don't want to play this. See, these quotes aren't coming from people on my side. They're not coming from people on Robbie's side or Dark Winter's side, because we were already not going to buy it. Okay? So the people who are making the negative cults aren't me, aren't, Diversity and Dungeons, aren't Max. We already said, I'm not going to buy this game. I don't care about this game. It's the people who you are actually targeting. As your target audience, who are posting the comments and saying, I don't want to play this game because you're dictating to me how I should play this game. You're making me impossible to play this game because you're telling me I can't play characters unless I'm actually from that culture, which is impossible because I live in 2023 Earth, not Victorian England. So it is impossible for me to play anybody from the cultures portrayed in your game, which doesn't even take place on Earth. It takes place on another planet, unless I actually am over 100 years old, from Victorian England, and a member of that profession. Because I live in 2023 America, so it's impossible for me not to appropriate a culture. I am surrounded by things from other cultures. This machine I am talking to you on was put together by dozens of people from all over the world. There's parts in this machine that are from Tokyo. There's parts in this machine that are from India. There's parts of this machine that are from Seattle, which is a separate country. There's parts of this machine that are from the Salton Sea, the lithium. There's this machine, this magic machine that I'm talking to you on, is the appropriation of dozens of different cultures, advances, and technologies. So I really can't talk to you on this machine without appropriating a culture. And I certainly can't play a doctor in Candel Obscura unless I actually am a doctor who practiced medicine in Victorian England, which, of course, again, would be impossible because this is 2023 Earth. Ba-da-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Why is this even a thing? Stop being stupid. You have one target audience. You know what that target audience wants to see. Focus on that target audience. I should not be the person who is giving Critical Role's Dagger Heart the most press. I am the least appropriate person. And yet I give you more press than your own people do. Support me, Critical Role. I will sell out. That's it for this bit of news. I can't believe Critical Role sent us a Dear John letter. I'll talk to you all later. Be safe today because it is cold and windy and the holidays are officially begun, which means tomorrow I get to start singing you all Christmas carols. Till then, if you haven't subscribed yet, please give me a Christmas present and subscribe. I'll talk to you all later. Get off my land.